What is up, GUFF gang? Joey Marino here from Grown Up Fantasy Football. And today I'm talking DFS. That's right, Super Bowl 55 is here. We made it. Now let's get into some DFS lineups. All right, so if you're new here or if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button down below and hit the bell icon to get notified whenever we post. We're putting at least 3 videos out a week during this off season. We'll be talking a lot of other strategy stuff coming up. Check us out on Twitter at GrownUpFF, and we're on Facebook at Grown Up Fantasy Football. Let's get into the video. All right, so I am playing the NFL Showdown Captain mode in DraftKings. That's what I'm picking right now. So in that mode, you pick one captain who is worth 1.5 amount of the salary that they typically are, and you get 1.5 amount. You get a 1.5 point multiplier on their fantasy points. So after that, you get 5 other flex positions. So anybody else who's playing the game. So let's talk about the captain first. So with the captain, we can choose from anybody. Okay, there's plenty of guys to choose from. You know, you got Mahomes, Brady, Godwin, Evans, AB, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, all of these guys, and they're all worth a lot of money. So what I like to do with this is kind of find a good value right here who's not worth as much but has a lot of opportunity, and then I can spend up on the other players. So the guy I'm going with for captain is Leonard Fournette. Playoff Lenny is real, you guys. He gets all the passing work in that backfield. He's pretty much taken over. Ronald Jones is, he's not playing really much anymore. Leonard Fournette has kind of taken that job as a starting back. He's the best running back. He offers the most upside out of all these running backs too. And he's a pretty good price. He's only $7,800. So as a captain, that makes him worth $11,700, which is only below Patrick Mahomes' price of $12,000. So we're saving a little bit right here with Leonard Fournette as our captain, which means we can pay up on a lot of their positions. So let's talk flex, guys. So we can talk about quarterbacks real quick. We got Mahomes and Brady, 2 terrific fantasy quarterbacks. So Patrick Mahomes, he is worth $12,000. Now, Mahomes could have a huge game. He is Patrick Mahomes, okay? But he is also dealing with turf toe, which is extremely painful. And, it makes him a little less mobile. And the thing is, Tampa Bay loves to blitz, and they bring pressure from just about everywhere. Without Eric Fisher on the line for the Chiefs, that could be an issue of trying to protect Patrick Mahomes and keep the pocket. If they get Mahomes out of the pocket, then he's going to be hobbling a little bit, I think, on that toe. He won't be as effective as he usually is. So at $12,000, you could definitely play him because he could definitely go off for a big game. But if I had to pick a quarterback, which I will, I think I'm going to go Tom Brady. Tom Brady is only $10,000, which I think he's still a really good play. Kansas City is a good defense. All right, make no bones about it. But he's the GOAT, okay? Contrary to what Zach says, Tom Brady's the GOAT, okay? He has plenty of weapons. He knows how to read a defense, and I think his offensive line matches up pretty well with the Chiefs' defensive line. Yes, they got to deal with Chris Jones, but Tristan Wirfs is the rookie on the line, and he's playing at a very high level for a rookie. Like I said in another video, we have not seen a rookie class do this well before. But I think I'd go with Tom Brady here in one of my flex spots. He's only $10,000. We went Leonard Fournette at the captain so we could pay up for some of these guys. So I'm going to take Tom Brady at quarterback. All right, so let's talk about the running backs. We still have 4 other flex spots, and do we want to use one on one of these other running backs? We already got Leonard Fournette. CEH is the next most expensive running back at $7,000 flat. And he might not be a bad play at this price, but he's coming off of an ankle injury, and I'd still be a little worried for re-injury. Typically these ankle sprains take a while to come back from, and he got injured in, I think, week 15 against the Saints. So it's been, a few weeks, but I feel like they kind of rushed him a little bit because he seemed like he was ready to play last week, but the Chiefs held him back which was, I think, the right thing to do. So he could still be fine, but I do think Damian Williams is still going to get his share here. So, I don't think he's going to have a whole lot of points. He's not going to explode. I think Leonard Fournette still has the higher ceiling here, but he may have a pretty okay floor. The thing is, Tampa has the best rushing defense in the league. Okay, and they got Vita Vea back, who's going to take up 2 guys, which means, JPP is roaming free on that line. Who else? Levante David can get in and make some noise. CEH is still a decent play. It's 7,000. But let's take a look at Damian Williams, too. He's only 5,200. He's worth a look. I think CEH gets the majority of the carries, and it's a tough run defense. So at 5,200, he's not terrible, but I'm probably skipping over Damian Williams. I'd rather go CEH out of those two. And lastly, we can talk about Ronald Jones, who, yes, has lost his starting job, but his price is only 2,200. He's not getting any targets, but he has been very efficient when he's on the field with carries. So, towards the end of your lineup, if you're looking for what could be a good value, I think Ronald Jones, I can't confidently tell you, yes, I want to start him, but all it takes is one injury. If Leonard Fournette goes down, then Ronald Jones is thrust into the starting lineup on a very potent offense. So, he's an icky depth piece. If you later on in the week, if we hear about injuries or something, then Ronald Jones might be a really good play if you can snag him. So let's talk wide receivers now. So we got a lot of guys to choose from, and let's start at the very top with Tyreek Hill, who is coming in at $10,400 of salary. Look, we went cheap with our captain so we could get these good guys. I think he's absolutely worth it. Tyreek Hill has a terrific matchup against a Bucs defense. I don't really have to talk a whole lot about him. Everybody knows how good he is. He's a matchup nightmare. It's a weak secondary. Tyreek Hill should definitely be in your lineup. Let's talk about Chris Godwin, though. He comes in at $8,800, which is, a pretty decent price. But Brashad Breeland is back from the concussion protocol. The other cornerback, or one of the cornerbacks from the Chiefs, so he may be matching up on Chris Godwin in this game. They always bring a safety in to cover guys out in the slot. So Godwin plays a good amount of his snaps in the slot. He's going to get yards. He has a very good connection with Tom Brady, and he might just be worth that $8,800 right there. Plus, Mike Evans does have a bit of an injury. I think he was limited today as of recording on Monday. So Evans is probably still going to play. Godwin's not bad right here at $8,800. He'd be worth adding into the lineup right here. But let's talk about Mike Evans, too. He's at $8,400, so I think that injury has his salary dipped just a tad. He could see some bracketing, if he's isolated, which he typically is, especially in the red zone. But that's the key there. The red zone is the key for Mike Evans. He has 20-plus targets in the red zone. I think he's number 1 in the league in terms of red zone targets. If the Bucs can move the ball like I think they will, then Mike Evans is going to see red zone targets. He's going to get a nice jumper that he'll just try to fight out of somebody's hands. He's not afraid to get the ball out of a cornerback's hands. I could still see him getting at least 1 touchdown in this game. He's $8,400. It might be worth the play right here. He's trending towards playing, so I'm fairly confident in him to play. I think he's probably a pretty good ad right here at $8,400. But let's talk Antonio Brown, too. He is $6,200, and he's still nursing what I think is his knee injury. He's made some progress over the weekend. He was doubtful all last week and did not practice. But if I think it's going to be, he probably needs to practice this week in order to play. Can I confidently tell you to start Antonio Brown? I don't think I can. But monitor his situation. If he starts trending towards he's playing, he's not feeling any discomfort in the knee and he's feeling a lot better, he's feeling more confident, then he might be a really sneaky play right here. As long as the Chiefs they have three very good, terrific receivers to cover right here. Somebody's got to get free in that secondary. And if Tom Brady can stay upright, if they don't get to him and he can read that defense quickly like he usually does, then somebody's going to eat. And Antonio Brown just may be the guy to feast. But let's talk other receivers right here. Let's talk about Mecole Hardman. He comes in at 5,600, which I think is a pretty good value right here. Sammy Watkins has been hurt for quite some time. He hasn't suited up I think since week 15 or 16. Mecole Hardman has big play ability. We saw it last week against the Packers. He had that costly fumble, but we saw Mahomes and Kelsey come up, pump him up, get him ready, and he took a nice screen pass like 60 yards downfield. The guy is talented, and he's very, very fast. And, it's a tough challenge for the Bucs to guard Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, and Travis Kelce. Mecole could slip through the defense. They could get double teams on Kelce or Hill, which I think leaves Mecole Hardman pretty open. So Mecole Hardman at 5,600 is a pretty good value, I think. But let's talk lastly about Byron Pringle, who is probably the ultimate value play right here. So he comes in at 1,800. Demarcus Robinson was just put on a close contact COVID list. So he could come back to play in here. But like I said, they're going to be double teaming Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. So Mecole Hardman, it could be open. Byron Pringle could be open. I think he's a good deep threat. You're taking a shot with him. It's only 1,800. So he's a nice, if you're looking for someone lastly to add to your lineup, I think Byron Pringle would be a really good one to have right here. I think he's a pretty good value at only 1,800. So Byron Pringle is not bad. Demarcus Robinson as well, he is only 1,400, so he's even cheaper. And he does typically score more points than Byron Pringle. So Demarcus Robinson or Byron Pringle, either one of those, I think are really good late ads at the end of making your lineup. All right, let's talk tight ends. And, of course, we have to talk about Travis Kelce. We don't have to talk a whole lot. He's $11,000, but that's why you go cheap on your captain so you can get Travis Kelce in your lineup. I don't have to talk a whole lot about him. He's a mismatch everywhere. He'll see some double teams, I'm sure, but he's Travis Kelce, and Mahomes loves Travis Kelce. So, definitely, if you can afford to play him, I'd definitely play Travis Kelce. And we'll talk about some Bucs tight ends right here. We got Gronk, who is $3,000, and he hasn't really had success in quite a while. So some reports came out that during the offseason, he would fake some of the workouts, he had to send in while he was working out at home to the Bucs. Is that contributing to his late season trend downwards? Maybe? Nah. It's a really good matchup. Kansas City bleeds points to tight ends, and he has Tom Brady. It's his best friend. It's the Super Bowl. Okay, big players make big plays, and I think he could be a threat in the red zone anytime the Bucs get there. Mike Evans and Gronk are probably Tom Brady's favorite two targets down in the red zone. Gronk could sneak in a touchdown real quick and not get a whole lot of yards. But at 3,000, I think he's fairly priced right here. I'm not expecting a whole lot of yards out of Gronk. He very well could get a ton of yards and miss that touchdown. But I'm predicting him to get somewhere sub 50 yards, but a touchdown in the red zone. It's Gronk. He's an animal. He'll get his share. But let's talk about Cameron Brate, too, who is priced at 4,800, which I think, it's a little high. And he is kind of touchdown dependent, especially when he's sharing snaps with Gronk. Both of these guys could have big days right here. And, Gronk, I'd feel more comfortable at the end of setting my lineup, looking at Gronk just because of the rapport with Brady. But Cameron Brate isn't bad really. So at 4,800, he might be worth, if you're not going to get Travis Kelce, if you can't afford him, that Brait or Gronk might not be a bad play here. Yeah, it's tough between those two because it's after Travis Kelce, the tight end landscape in fantasy is not great after like the first three, Kittle, Kelce, and Waller. So really, you take a shot with either one of these guys. You could go cheap with Gronk, or you can just pay up a little bit with Brait. I'm not super confident in either one, but I could see a case for both because I think the Bucs will move the ball, and they could both get touchdowns in the red zone. So you could go with either one of those tight ends. In terms of defenses, I don't want to play either one of these defenses. You're up against Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. Do you really want to play a defense? I don't know. There's a chance one of them could throw an interception. I mean, Tom Brady had 3 picks against the Packers, so the Chiefs might be the one I'd go with, but I don't really want to play a defense against Tom Brady. Not really. They're going to put up a bunch of points in this matchup. So that's going to do it for this DFS talk. I'll give you my lineup that I'm going with. So like I mentioned, at the captain position, I've got Leonard Fournette, who is at 11,700. Then I've got Tom Brady in one flex at 10,000. Travis Kelce in another one at 11,000. Tyreek Hill at 10,400. I got Gronk at 3,000, and I'm going with Byron Pringle at 1,800. That still got 2,000 left in the salary, and it is early in the week, so we might be playing around in here. Check the comments to see if anything breaking, any news comes up, maybe switching some people around. But you leave a comment below and tell me what you think of my lineup that I just gave you and my takes on some of these players. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on them and love to reply to them, whatever we got. But thanks again for sticking around and watching this video. Best of luck in winning the cash prizes from DraftKings or FanDuel or wherever you're playing DFS. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. Be sure to grow up and be sure to get guffed.